you don't find passions. I really don't believe in that. I think you have to create passions through curiosity, through interest, and ultimately through hard work. Hey, this is Mike from Muscle for Life, and welcome to another episode of my podcast. This episode is part of a weekly series that I have dubbed Motivation Monday. Yes, I know, so creative of me. What can I say? I'm just a genius. Seriously though, the idea here is simple. Every Monday morning, I am going to post a short and punchy episode that I hope gets you fired up to tackle the workouts, work, and everything else that you have planned for the week ahead. Because it's one thing to know what you want to do, but it's something else altogether to actually make yourself do it. And I hope that this series gives you a jolt of energy and encouragement to go ahead and do all of those things that you want to do. So if you like what you hear, then make sure to check back every Monday morning for the latest and greatest installment. All right, this week's quote comes from the one and only Socrates, and he said, "Bad men live that they may eat and drink, whereas good men eat and drink that they may live." How many people are told every day that if they were to just follow their passion, that everything would work out? You know, that if they just somehow divined what they were fated to do and then went and did it, they would eventually be living the dream of having fulfilling work, great pay, autonomy, respect, and all of the other great things that make life worth living. Well, that idea never really clicked for me because many of the people that I know that are highly engaged in their work and very successful in it had no idea in advance what they were going to do with their lives. You know, they weren't the ones that were smacking golf balls with perfect form at 2 years old, or pursuing their childhood fantasies, or even doing things that they were always good at. In many cases, their journeys to where they are today were pretty haphazard. There weren't many brilliant master plans or Churchillian notions of their destinies that they were fulfilling. Quite to the contrary, these people more or less stumbled their way into their respective fields and stuck around long enough to find good opportunities and then capitalized on those opportunities. And in many cases, these people wound up doing and eventually loving things that they never thought that they could enjoy. Mike Rowe, who is the host of the show Dirty Jobs, he delivered a fantastic speech on this subject in a TED Talk that I highly recommend you Google and find. If you just Google TED Mike Rowe, and I think it's called Learning from Dirty Jobs. It's about 20 minutes long, but it's well worth it. And in that talk, he talks about people that are doing things like pig farming and making pottery from cow poop, things that, you know, something tells me that these people weren't really dreaming of doing these things as young boys and girls, but now are very happy with what they're doing. And I think that his talk really strikes at the heart of the problem with the advice of finding your passion, because you don't find passions. I really don't believe in that. I think you have to create passions through curiosity, through interest, and ultimately through hard work. And to that point, we can look to Mike Rowe again in a reply that he wrote to a fan who wrote to him asking for some career advice. Here's the letter from the fan. "Hey, Mike, I've spent this last year trying to figure out the right career for myself, and I still can't figure out what to do. I've always been a hands-on kind of guy and a go-getter. I could never be an office worker. I need change, excitement, and adventure in my life, but where the pay is steady. I grew up in construction, and my first job was a restoration project. I love everything outdoors. I play music for extra money. I like trying pretty much everything, but get bored very easily. I want a career that will always keep me happy, but can allow me to have a family and get some time to travel. I figure if anyone knows jobs, it's you. So I was wondering your thoughts on this. If you ever get the time, thank you, Parker Hall." And here's Mike's reply. "Hi, Parker. My first thought is that you should learn to weld and move to North Dakota. The opportunities are enormous, and as a hands-on go-getter, you're qualified for the work. But after reading your post a second time, it occurs to me that your qualifications are not the reason you can't find the career you want. I had drinks last night with a woman I know. Let's call her Claire. Claire just turned 42. She's cute, smart, and successful. She's frustrated, though, because she can't find a man. I listened all evening about how difficult her search has been, about how all the good ones were taken, about how her other friends had found their soulmates, and how it wasn't fair that she had not. Look at me, she said. I take care of myself. I've put myself out there. Why is this so hard? How about that guy at the end of the bar? I said. He keeps looking at you. Not my type. Really? How do you know? I just know. Have you tried a dating site? I asked. Are you kidding? I would never date someone I met online. All right, how about a change of scene? Your company has offices all over. Maybe try living in another city? What? Leave San Francisco? Never. All right, how about the other side of town? Mix it up a little. Visit different places, new museums, new bars, new theaters. She looked at me like I had two heads. Why the hell would I do that? Here's the thing, Parker. Claire doesn't really want a man. She wants the right man. She wants a soulmate, specifically a soulmate from her zip code. She assembled this guy in her mind years ago, and now, damn it, she's tired of waiting. I didn't tell her this because Claire has the capacity for sudden violence, but it's true. She complains about being alone, even though her rules have more or less guaranteed she'll stay that way. She has built a wall between herself and her goal, a wall made of conditions and expectations. Is it possible that you've built a similar wall? Consider your own words. You don't want a career, you want the right career. You need excitement and adventure, but not at the expense of stability. You want lots of change and the freedom to travel, but you need the certainty of steady pay. You talk about being easily bored as though boredom is out of your control. It isn't. Boredom is a choice, like tardiness or interrupting. It's one thing to love the outdoors, but you take it a step further. You vow to never take an office job. You talk about the needs of your family, even though that family doesn't exist. And finally, you say the career you describe must always make you happy. These are my thoughts. You may choose to ignore them, and I wouldn't blame you, especially after being compared to a 40-year-old woman who can't find love. But since you asked, stop looking for the right career and start looking for a job, any job. Forget about what you like. Focus on what's available. Get yourself hired. Show up early. Stay late. Volunteer for the scut work. Become indispensable. You can always quit later and be no worse off than you are today, but don't waste another year looking for a career that doesn't exist. And most of all, stop worrying about your happiness. Happiness does not come from a job. It comes from knowing what you truly value and behaving in a way that's consistent with those beliefs. Many people today resent the suggestion that they're in charge of the way they feel. But trust me, Parker, these people are mistaken. That was a big lesson from Dirty Jobs, and I learned it several hundred times before it stuck. What you do, who you're with, and how you feel about the world around you is completely up to you. Good luck, Mike. P.S. I'm serious about welding in North Dakota. Those guys are writing their own ticket. P.P.S. Think I should forward this to Claire? Now, I've probably read that letter 15 times and I still love it. It's just so true. You don't discover passion and the will to work hard and persevere through meditation and meandering. It's an active process that demands sweat on your brow and dirt on your hands. It's a hard-won reward for hard work, not a chance gift from the ether. This process also requires the willingness to be interested in things, to cultivate, nurture, and follow curiosities, because you never know what might click, and you never know what might lead to making it click. Again, remember the pig farmer and cow poop potters? Now, for me, one of my passions now is writing. I love the game of trying to turn ideas into just the right words, words that are interesting, persuasive, and eloquent. Now, if I had to stop writing, I could easily think of 10 other things that sound very interesting to me and that with enough work, I know that I could easily develop into passions. For example, I could get into something in the visual arts. I could get into marketing and advertising work. I could get into developing apps or software as a service products. I could definitely get into publishing other people's books. I could get into creating board games. I could get into creating t-shirts even. possibly even learning magic tricks and creating products in that space, and on and on. Rowe also hints at another piece of the finding your passion puzzle that I think is vitally important to grasp, and that is you'll never be passionate about something that you suck at, ever. It's just the way it is. Competence breeds enthusiasm, and enthusiasm breeds passion. Without competence, though, there will never be enthusiasm, and without enthusiasm, there will never be passion. So the autonomy, impact, and respect that many people want out of their work and careers are almost just byproducts of getting really, really good at something. So good that people simply can't ignore you. It's just that simple. Cause and effect. And I think that many people that complain about hating their work would enjoy it a lot more if they just got better at it, and if they just worked at getting better at it. Studied, practiced, experimented, did whatever it took. And sure, some jobs are more routine and limited in scope and kind of inherently monotonous than others. Some jobs have a rather low competence ceiling, so to speak. But if you're in a position like that and it's not for you, then why waste your time with such work? There is so much more that you could be doing. Why not transition into something more challenging? So it's either do that or embrace the work's simplicity and find something contenting about it. And as Rowe says in his TED Talk, which I highly recommend you go and listen to, roadkill picker-uppers whistle while they work. Hey there, it's Mike again. I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it interesting and helpful. And if you did and don't mind doing me a favor, then please do give this video a like and leave a comment down below. Not only do I like to hear from everybody and I jump in and reply to as many comments as I can, it also helps other people find their way to the show and learn how to build their best bodies ever too. And of course, if you want to be notified when the next episode goes live, then just subscribe to my channel and you won't miss out on any of the new content. Lastly, if you didn't like something about the show, then definitely shoot me an email at mike@muscleforlife.com and share your thoughts on how you think it could be better. I read everything myself and I'm always looking for constructive feedback, so please do reach out. Thanks again for listening to the episode, and I hope to hear from you soon. And lastly, this episode is brought to you by me. Seriously though, I'm not big on promoting stuff that I don't personally use and believe in, so instead I'm going to just quickly tell you about something of mine. Specifically, my 100% natural fat loss supplement, Phoenix. It has sold over 100,000 bottles in the last several years, and it helps you lose fat faster in 3 ways. 1, it increases your metabolic rate. 2, it amplifies the power of fat-burning chemicals produced by your body. And 3, it increases the feeling of fullness from food. In short, it speeds up your metabolism, it helps your body burn fat more efficiently, and it helps you control hunger and cravings and maintain high energy levels. Phoenix also contains no artificial food dyes, fillers, or other unnecessary junk. And all that is why it has over 700 reviews on Amazon with a 4-star average, and another 250 reviews on my website with a 4.5-star average. So if you want to burn more fat every day and have an easier time sticking to your diet without having to pump yourself full of harsh stimulants or potentially harmful chemicals, then you want to head over to www.legionathletics.com and pick up a bottle of Phoenix today. And just to show how much I appreciate my podcast peeps, use the coupon code podcast at checkout and you will save 10% on your entire order. And lastly, you should also know that I have a very simple 100% money back guarantee that works like this. You either love my stuff or you get your money back, period. You don't have to return the products. You don't have to fill out forms. You don't have to jump through any other hoops or go through any other shenanigans. So you really can't lose here. Head over to www.legionathletics.com now, place your order, and see for yourself why my supplements have thousands of rave reviews all over the internet. And if for whatever reason they're just not for you, contact us and we will give you a full refund on the spot.